My name's Eric Leboeuf. I'm a tour guide and I volunteer for the WWII Foundation. Definitely working with the WWII Foundation and with the Band of Brothers cast is different than my everyday job in the sense that in a sense it's more relaxed, but yet the stress level is a little higher. I don't know if you can understand that, because usually on my tours I'm the one who controls the tour. I pick people up at the hotel or the train station, and I do my thing. I'm the one in control of the van. In this case here, it's a little bit different. So far, the response has been really, really positive. I mean, they're all coming up to me and saying, hey, great job, really enjoyed what you said about this, and really touching. I mean, I'm really sort of amazed by what they're getting out of it. I think maybe they weren't expecting, every time we've done these things, that maybe they don't know what they're getting into. They're sort of figuring it's going to be an autograph session, meet the fans, and that's it. But then you take them on these sites and we talk about the men that either they portrayed or the stories of others, like we did today, and the reaction is just phenomenal. We get emotional reactions, which I think for me is like, wow, I hit home there. I really hit a chord. And it takes away the whole actor thing, you know, that whole persona, and you're like, at the end of it, it's a human being. And I think throughout the years, I mean, now it's been what, 19 years? No, we're at 18 years after the show came out, and these guys still band together, and they come out, they got to meet, some of them got to meet their veterans, which is something I didn't get to do, you know, and I sort of feel jealous for that. I don't know if they realize I think they do now. They realize the luck and the opportunity they had and the honor to meet these men that now I just tell the stories of. I know they'll take it home with them. A lot of these guys have children now. I've already got a couple of them saying, you know, I'm going to come back and just book a tour with you and do it for my kids. And I'm like, okay. And I hit a chord, and I think they want to pass that on. I've had it also with other people who've had parents who were part of this operation, and they didn't hear anything through dad. But now they have their own kids and they say, no, I want you really to focus on my kids. It's nice to see that at least for another maybe generation or two, it's still there. And I think the guys are the same as anybody else when it comes to that. You know, it's important that people keep on doing these tours, coming here and listening to the stories the guides out here have to tell, because we owe that generation something. I'm in my mid-40s. I've had a pretty good life, and I owe it, I think, to that generation. It's not a perfect world, but it's pretty damn close as far as I'm concerned. My great uncle, in one of his final interviews, had said, on an interview, he said, he was asked the question, can you please explain to me what your generation left our generation? And he took a moment and he looked up and he said, I humbly believe what my generation did was plant the seeds of peace in the garden of freedom. And they gave us a garden. And so we owe them the responsibility to maintain that garden, the garden of memory. And if we don't want the world to go south, I think we should really listen to the guys and the girls of the past. It's Tom Brokaw who called them the greatest generation, and I wholly believe that. For a lot of reasons. They're basically a generation that never complained, never really bragged about what they did. When you meet a veteran, they never ever let on that they changed the world. They basically they did, but they went home and they went back to work. And thirdly, it's a generation that won a war using pencil and paper. That to me is just amazing. Now we're all with these phones and things, and you know, that's the greatest generation, and they did it for us. Yeah. If Tom Hanks was in the room right now, I would say, thank you. Thank you, because he is part of this family of that generation. When I say we're all in this together. Tom Hanks put something together with Saving Private Ryan. He worked on the Washington Memorial, and of course the Band of Brothers. And through him, we got actors that come out here and do this stuff now. And through that series, we get people that come and follow my tours. And I share that and they take it back home to America or England or wherever they're from, or Canada. And that's the family. And so I would say thank you for enlightening a lot of people, because everybody that comes on these tours has seen Saving Private Ryan or Band of Brothers. And if it wasn't for that, then maybe the people wouldn't have come necessarily, if we would have stayed back on the old movies from the 50s and 60s. I think for me, Saving Private Ryan was one of those pivotal movies that really changed a war movie, made it real, and also enlightened us to say, oh my God, I have a grandfather, I have a great uncle or whatever. So I would say, yeah, to Tom Hanks and Spielberg and all those guys, thank you. I think they got it before we did. What they were doing was important, and we had to act quickly, because in the next 5-10 years, if I'm being generous, we're going to go from the work of memory to the work of history, and that's where it gets dangerous, because once it becomes history, it's just in a book. Right now, we still have the opportunity to meet the men and women. We're going to have to be vigilant about that, I think.